Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back for another installment of Firestorm at Home. That's right, it's me, your coach, FreeLove, and we're here for episode 6 on Parkour. Today is going to be a barefoot day, but even though you're taking off your shoes, if you have it, I want you to keep a pair of socks next to you or nearby for some of what we're going to do later on today. So for today's workouts, for today's class, you'll want a pair of socks. Or, if you have one, a Frisbee or a plastic lid of some sort that's smooth. If you guys are on hardwood floors or tile floors, your socks are gonna slide and glide. That's gonna be super helpful. Don't have those socks on right now. We'll put them on in a little bit. If you guys have carpet floors, having that thing like a Frisbee or a disc or a carpet slider is going to be super helpful. Again, not using it right now. So, we're going to make sure that, again, we're barefoot for today, and we have spread out our space. If you guys are siblings sharing, you're going to want to offset your spaces, placing them slightly staggered, one there, one here. We are going to be laterally along our mat today, and we are going to get started with our mobility. Take a nice wide stance, shoulders back, chest up, chin forward, and neutral position. From here, we're gonna take a nice deep breath in our nose. In the nose, and out the mouth. Making sure that you keep that breathing going 2 more times. In the nose, and out the mouth. Last one, in the nose, and out the mouth. So we're going to start by rolling our neck out, chin over to our shoulder here, bringing our chin down to our chest, and then over to our opposite shoulder. We're going to go back and forth, repeating this movement. It's going to be several times over. Trying to make sure that when you move your head, you do not let your body fall out of posture. So I'm not done here rolling my head around. Keep myself up, roll my head across, back, maintaining that posture. We're gonna stop with our head and our neck rolls. We're gonna start with our shoulder rolls. Big shrug up, lift your shoulders as close to your ears as you can get them. Boom. Lift not just your shoulder, but the big bone in the back, your shoulder blade. We're gonna move those forwards, down, and pinch the shoulder blades together behind us, right? So, big pinch, and lift, and roll. Going forward, you guys can see, pinch, my shoulders are big, clearly behind me, big roll forward. Nice. All right, we're gonna go backwards now. So big shrug up, and pinch backwards, drop down, curl into a round, and continue with that big movement, using not just your shoulder, but your whole shoulder blade. So, big, 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 big push, big reach out. All right, so we are going to move from our shoulders to our elbows now, going out into a big extended reach where your fingertips are pointed towards the walls to either side of you. We're going to take those hands, bring them up over the top into a cactus arm position, bring those hands down to our chest like we're going to have grab a hold of our shirt. We're going to bring those hands underneath our elbows like we're an old school robot, and we're going to bring those hands all the way back out. We're going to continue this overhand reach where we're going overhand towards our own head for our lateral arm circles. Big overhead reach. And stop. Now let's go ahead and go outside. Big outside circle pushing away. Big pick up, big push out. Just like that. Nice. Try and keep the elbows up at the head of the shoulders. We're going to stop in just one more circle. Stop right there. We're going to give ourselves a couple of hugs. Swing the arms back and forth. Alternate. You guys can see I have my left arm going up and over. Then my right arm will go up and over. So alternate as you guys give yourself those arm swings and those hugs. Just mobilizing the back and the shoulders and a little bit more. Interlock those fingers, clasp them tightly, squeeze the hands, and now we're going to roll our wrists out. Make sure, again, if you need to, you can put your fingers together and draw your big circle. going one direction for your wrist roll. And then we're gonna stop and go the opposite direction for that wrist roll. And having that one little change where you point that finger out instead of keeping it locked in, that one little change may be what you need to make sure that you keep this movement going the right way. So we're gonna go ahead and stop, shake the hands out, shake the whole arm out. Whoa, nice. And we are going to start with our torso twist. Widen your stance, just a little bit wider now. Should be about twice your shoulder width. From here, we're gonna do our muscle twist and then our momentum twist. Twisting to our max, then holding it for 3, 2, 1, then twisting back the opposite direction. Twist and hold for 3, 2, 1, and back for our twist. Get to your maximum of your ability to twist. Twist all the way around, and 3, 2, 1, and twist opposite side last time. All the way around as far as you can. 3, 2, 1. Good. Untwisting now. We're going to do our momentum twist, where we use our arms to pull ourselves just a little further. Now guys, please make sure that you keep twisting and keep looking the direction that you're twisting. Don't forget to also breathe in your nose and out your mouth while doing your mobility. For every bit of your mobility, for all of your warm-up, keep that breathing going. All right, and stop there. We're gonna go ahead and move down the spine, down the torso, into our hips, and keep that wide stance, and start with a few hula hoops or hip circles, whatever you'd like to call them. I prefer to really think about them as pelvic tilts, really curling and turning and tilting that big giant bone at the base of my spine. That's my pelvis. So, nice mobility in there. You guys have been following along for a few episodes before, or if you're just joining us, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you guys' viewership. More importantly, we appreciate that you guys are following the guidelines, staying at home, but still keeping yourselves active. And opposite direction for those pelvic tilts, for the hip circle, or your hula hoop, whatever you prefer to call it. We're gonna make sure that we keep our posture in our chest, in our shoulders, and our head. Try not to fall out or lean out as you do this movement. Isolate this point here, your sternum. We're gonna keep that in place and roll our hips around below it. Nice, good job. We're gonna go ahead, move from our hips down into our knees. We've done these a few times before. We're going to go into a little squat, and then we're gonna lock those legs back out, full lock, full extension. Use the hands to help push. We're gonna squat down and push those legs into a lock. We're gonna squat and lock our legs out. We're gonna do this just a few times. 3, let's go 5 more. Full lock, full push on the thigh if you need to. I prefer to push right above the knee on the lower end of the thigh because pushing on my knee directly causes a little bit of discomfort for me, right? And if I can still get my stretch but avoid that discomfort, I should do so. All right, so we're gonna go from those little squats into our knee circles. So we're gonna get down low, a little lower than we were before. And if the heels come up off the ground, that's okay. We're gonna stay in that squat and swing the knees around the feet. So it's important that they go out to the side, in front of the toes, out to the side, and back behind the toes, almost that full lock position. But we're gonna keep our center, right? Keep your chest, keep your body low that whole time. Opposite direction. Making sure that you guys don't really push yourself too far out of this position. Staying in that squat, staying engaged is going to be super helpful in making sure you mobilize the right way. All right, stand up nice and tall, shake those legs out. I like to pump one heel into the ground at a time. So heel and toe, then heel and toe, then heel and toe, then heel and toe. And pump those legs out just a few more times. Nice. We're gonna step out at length with our mat, putting our knee over our heel, putting our head and chest over our knee. That's right, it's our lunge. We're gonna put some weight into that leg, then lift our heel and roll our ankle out. Try not to let the heel touch the ground. We're gonna lift that heel up, away from the ground, down towards it, and swing across it. You'll see that there's quite a bit of knee movement here. The knee is going to have to move a little bit to create this movement in the ankle. That's okay. Make sure that we go both directions with this movement. That I'm bringing my heel now in, up and around, up and around. This clockwise movement, opposite from how I started. Nice, let's go ahead and switch now to our opposite leg. Leaning in, doing that same sort of lunge, putting the weight in and rolling that heel out. I'm starting in a counterclockwise circle, moving both my knee and my heel, keeping my toe pressed in, keeping that calf engaged, right? When I say engaged, I mean that muscle is being used. So keep that weight in, keep that muscle in use while you guys are holding yourselves up. Switch, roll that ankle out the opposite direction. Remember, this is not really the workout. We are just mobilizing all of our joints, lubricating our joints, making sure that our muscles and our hinges, right, our joints in our body are going to move properly to allow us to do our workout without injury. Good. So we should be effectively mobilized. We're going to go into a nice light jog, staying towards the center of our mat without leaving that space. Go on ahead and get started on your nice light jog. Pulling the foot all the way up off the mat, super important. I don't want you just kind of bouncing around. I've seen some at-home videos, and I trust that my kids and my adults that are following us, that you guys are pushing yourselves to make the best you that you can be. And in a workout, if you cheat, the only person that gets cheated is you. So make sure that you focus on yourself and that you guys keep yourselves going, especially during this time where we're all kind of stuck at home. All right, go ahead and stop. We're going to start with our jumping jacks. Fix your mat as you need to. We're going to go from this inside position to this big reaching outside position. So we're going to jump in and jump out. If you can reach all the way up and get your biceps to smack your cheeks, keep your arms straight the whole time, that's your best bet. So we're going to go up. All right, go ahead, catch your breath for just a moment. In the nose, out the mouth. And just one more nice big deep breath. Readjust your mat as you need to. All right. So we're going to go ahead and continue with our warm-up. Getting into a nice push-up position. We're going to go in our push-up. We're going to hold ourselves a whole lot. I'm going to drop down into a profile view. In my push-up hold, you guys should all make sure you drop down as well. Now I'm going to take this body position, squeeze it nice and tight, and my feet are together, but for today, we're going to put them slightly apart. So hands are at the edge of the mat, feet are at the edge of the mat. Keeping myself up, nice and strong, taking the one hand, touching my opposite shoulder, coming back on the opposite side. So now those shoulder touches, you guys can see I'm not rushing through it. I'm really isolating my body, not letting my body rock back and forth. I'm not falling over. Oh my goodness. I'm holding myself, staying strong, balanced, and postured. We're gonna go left to right to left. Don't forget, breathing is important. In the nose, out the mouth, and go at a speed that's okay for you. Rushing is not gonna do you any good if you fall on your face. Go ahead and give that a break. We're gonna stay ready and low with our mat. Catch our breath for just a moment. We're gonna go back into that push-up, and instead of doing shoulder touches, we're now gonna do hip touches. So hand is gonna reach under and into our opposite hip. So I'll be in my push-up, and instead of this, now I'm doing this. Now I'm reaching to the far side of my hip, and this forces my shoulder under my chest a little bit. My body is bound to rock, is bound to tilt a little bit, but that's okay. Just keep it going. Keep breathing. Reach in and through. Oop. Careful, don't want to pump too many things. Good. Stop here. Walk ourselves up. Take a nice strong stand. And you should be feeling amply warmed up. We did quite a few minutes of mobility, quite a few minutes of warm up. Now, if you guys are thirsty, go get some water. I've got mine. You go get yours. We'll join afterwards. Excuse me. All right. All right. So, hey guys, you guys are just joining me. It is Parkour episode 6. We are knowing how to count with our fingers. No, it's Parkour episode 6 for Firestorm at home. If you guys did watch our previous 5 episodes, that's great. You're just getting back from our water break. If you guys are just joining us, then that's awesome. We appreciate you guys being here. We're going to get started on a few of our skills that we otherwise don't have the means to practice. So that's going to be our crane, our 1-foot balance, and our balance walk. Now, are we gonna get started doing those things? No, I don't have an obstacle that I can really practice those on. So what we're going to do is practice some workouts that are going to engage those same muscles, giving us the opportunity to work those areas without having to do this skill. So when it does come time to do the skill, our body will be trained, strong, and prepared for that. So to get started, we're going to be targeting our thighs here, our quads specifically, as well as our glutes and our hamstrings. That's the area behind your quads. Lastly, we will be going into our calves. So, our first movement today is going to require us to get into a shallow lunge. A nice big deep lunge is good, but that's not our goal right now. We're going to go into a nice shallow lunge. That means that my feet are fairly close together. Now from here, I'm just going to keep my arms up and out for balance. My front leg is slightly bent, but my goal is to be able to keep this leg in position and use my hips and my glutes to tilt my body forward and tilt my body back. Very softly, very gently landing that back foot on the ground. So doing one of those hip tilts together, super helpful. But now what we're going to try and do is that movement, we're going to go through it 10 times on each leg. First one doesn't count. So we're going to go ahead and get into that short lunge. Use your arms out here and out around you as weight to help you balance. We're going to lean in to bring our leg up off the ground. And then it's like I'm manually pulling my chest down by squeezing my hand, or by squeezing my quad, flexing my hamstring. So I'm pushing myself back in place by squeezing that hamstring. That's 1. So we're going to go ahead and squeeze the quad, pull ourselves down, and flex 2. And you guys should barely even feel your toe touch the ground. And if you really want extra challenge, then don't let your foot touch the ground. You can even pull your knee in like this instead, and kick the foot back out, and do our hip tilt, and come back in down. That's 4. So we're just going to 10, guys. And as you can see, I've adopted the challenge of not letting my foot touch the ground instead, and bringing that foot in, keeping it floating all the way. So now you guys can see I'm working on quite a few different skill techniques and muscle groups. Right, that's 5 and 6. I'm gonna go on ahead and give a break for a second. I'm gonna get in my last 4, but I'm working on a lot. There's the outside of the calf here, that's the outside of my glute here. You're gonna feel a little bit of that of the front of the quad, and I'm also in my lower abdomen and my lower back. So I'm feeling that action in all of these places as I tip down and pull myself back up. That's 7. Tip down and pull myself back up. That's 8. You guys can see I'm swaying and wobbling a little bit, and that's fine, it's bound to happen. That's 9. Ooh, but I'm trying not to rush through the movement. This is a slow, controlled movement. Good, that's 10. Oh my. So your butt cheek on just the right side, at least for me, that was my right leg in front. My glute is on fire. I feel it. I feel it in the best way though. And I can feel that running down the side of my hamstring and my quad into my IT band. So we're gonna switch legs. Again, shallow lunge, not a big lunge. This can mess you up. Slightly more shallow lunge. I'm gonna lean in, leaning until my foot comes off the ground. Then continuing to use this planted leg to tilt and push myself back up. That's 1. We're going to go for 10 on this opposite leg as well. That's 2. We're going to go ahead and get in that tilt, tilt, lean, tilt, tilt, all the way over. So we're lateral as best as we can, nice and flat, like a table. And then we come back up. Boom. That's 3. We're going to keep that action going. Now I'm on my non-dominant leg, but I'm still going to take that challenge of not letting that back leg touch the floor. So that's 4. Big full tilt, big full reach, big full lean. Oh no, save yourself as you need. You come back in. That's 5. 5 more to go. Boom. And in. That's 6. Looking good, feeling good. Tilt, lean. Set yourself back in place. Oh my goodness, lose the balance. Nice, good. That's 7. Coming out. Lean, balance, reach. That's 8. Readjust if you need to. Good. Lean in. 9. Finishing up. And doing my last one, number 10. All right. Coach, ow. Correct. If that was a question, you're correct. Ow. No, it is a workout that is designed to be slow and to really focus on those big muscle groups that we have that we're going to be using when we're doing a jump to crane. If I had to jump and land in a crane, one foot would be hitting the obstacle first, being my front foot or my low foot, and then my second foot would come up on top of it, like that, right? 1, 2, oh my God, this one leg has so much work to do. It's very similar to the workout we just did. So, that jump to crane, as well as your balance walk, and a 1-foot balance. For those of you that compete and have had to do a tiebreaker, you know what I'm talking about. Those skills are often used. So, we're gonna continue to build on those areas by starting our next workout. We're gonna go on ahead with our heel raises, or calf raises. We're gonna lift up into a nice big extension, getting our heels up as high as we can off the ground. If you have something small that helps to offset the height, like a little step up block, or if you have a nice old school hard back textbook that you don't mind stepping on, you guys can take your toes, put your toes on that item, heels down under the height of it, and then we lift ourselves up into this big old tippy toe raise, into our big old calf raise. Drop our heels down and lift them up. But we're lifting and holding. So we're going to go on ahead and imagine that you have flat ground, or elevation. Because I have the elevation, I'm going to challenge myself and do it on elevation. But we're going to just go from that lowest point of our dip, whether it's flat or it's elevated. We're going to press up, hold it for 35 seconds. Do not let your heels drop down. Even if your heels come down, pick them right back up. Right away, right back up. So we're going to go on ahead, get into our position. 35 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, 1, lift. And we're going to hold that big lift. Keep the heel as high up as possible. Maintain your balance by keeping your arms out and ready to assist you. That's 10 seconds down. And that's 15. We got just 20 seconds left. Make sure that your heels are not dropping. Oh, that we're going to hold that up. That we're going to stay into that lift. Keep that calf engaged. Your arms can be up or out to help you. But we're really pushing that toe down. Only 5 seconds left now. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Woo. So, that's only one time. We're going to do that 2 more times. But in the time in between, right now, we're going to do just a few calf raises like explosive pumps. Now, if you guys have that elevation, great. You get to dip down under that elevation. If you don't have that elevation, just lifting your heels up. So we're going to do this for another 15 seconds. If you have the elevation, use it. Ooh. There we go. Balance, then go. So 15 seconds of pumping that calf raise and really actively using that calf. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. So now you should be feeling it. This means that our following sets of the hold for 35 seconds and the raises for 15 seconds are going to work together to really blast your calves. So we're going to get started with that hold. Another 35 seconds on the hold. Ready, and 3, 2, 1. Lift and hold it. Good. Now, don't forget, guys, breathing is important. Breathe in your nose and out your mouth. There are some of you that prefer to do this while in a squat. Being in a squat helps you to keep your heels up tight. And for those of you that do so, that's fine, but that's for later. We're actually going to try and keep our legs extended and straight. For some of you at home, you've been doing it in a squat. We've only got about 10 seconds left. We're going to stay in that straight leg calf raise for now. And 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Oh my goodness. Calves on fire. Take a few seconds. Roll out your ankle a little bit. Shake out your leg. We're going to get started with those pumps, those 15 seconds of quick raises. Get yourself ready and balance and go. 15 seconds on the clock. Trying not to fall off your block. Keep those heels pumping up and down. 5, 4, oh no, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, guys, watching the clock and doing this makes it very challenging. So for you at home, you don't have to watch the clock. You guys can just follow along with my count, but find something to spot. Spotting is the act of taking one thing, making it your intense, focused target and staring at it. Spotting is going to help you for all your balancing. It's actually super important for balance walks, jump to crane, jump to everything. Anytime you jump at something, you have to spot your landing target. So we're going to go back up, in for our last set of our lift and our hold. And we're going to spot something for that 35 seconds. Ready, lift, and spot. Keep that heel in a big, big lift. Get that push through the ball of the toe. And you're flexing the foot, you're pushing the book away, pushing the ground away. However you want to think about it. We've only got 20 seconds left. Keep that hold strong, keep it going. Calves should be shaking, heels should be dropping, but we're gonna fight it. Keep those arms out for balance. 10 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, 0. Come down. Woo! And we're only gonna take a second of rest. Boom, 1 second. Good. We're gonna go on ahead and get started with those explosive calf raises. These are our last few. We got 15 seconds. Let's try and do 30 calf raises in that 15 seconds. That's 2 per second. I think everyone's capable of doing that, especially if you're not on this elevation where balance is more challenging. So we're gonna get ready for that last 15 seconds. Go! Keep breathing. Keep the ball of your toe planted. Real lift on the hip, or a big lift on the heel. Ooh. And done. Woo. All right. Guys, that's not all. We are going to go on ahead and step away from our book, or take that book, take that step stool, if we had one, take that out of the way, off to the side, put it back where it came from. Don't just throw it around. That's where mine came from. So I'm still taking care of my house. Now, we're gonna go on ahead and move into a single leg squat. Not a pistol squat where your leg is out in front of you, a single leg squat where that leg is just back behind you. We're gonna squat down and try and make that knee touch the ground. That's gonna be it. That knee should not slam into the ground. It's gonna be a nice, light, gentle touch. But just like you guys saw my previous example when I did a jump to crane on the couch, I end up in that low squat. The single leg tilt that we did earlier where we tilted is to really target our glute. That calf raises was, well, for our calf. But now this squat is really in the quad and the hamstring. You're gonna feel a lot of burn in there. So if those muscle groups are tired, perfect. You only really gain benefit when you're exhausted. So we're gonna get started. Get a centered point on your mat. I'm putting my planted foot, for me it's my right starting. I'm gonna put that towards the very center of my mat, leaning my chest and my head and hands out over towards the front. My foot, my back foot, back out over towards the back. I'm gonna go on ahead and squat down, bring that knee nearly into the floor, come back up. That's 1. We're only gonna do 5 on each side for now, but we're planning on doing 2 sets. So we're gonna go on ahead and get that 1, and get 2. And you guys can see my foot does touch the floor just a little bit before my knee, but my foot is not setting me down. It's not holding me up. It's not doing anything except letting me know how close I get to the ground. So that's 3 and 4. Boom. And 5. Nice. So nothing too crazy, but as you guys can tell, it's the one leg doing all the work. That's okay, because now we're gonna switch to our opposite leg to make sure it gets a balanced workout. So get that nice one-legged balanced position ready. Squat down until the knee touches the ground. Come back up. Again, my back foot is lightly touching the ground. Boom. And then I can touch with my knee. That back foot doesn't touch the ground much more than 1 or 2 pounds of pressure in that foot. That's 4. And number 5. Awesome. Okay. So we've done 5 on each leg. If you guys are feeling it, it's probably because you're not used to lifting your entire body mass with one leg. That's why this workout's important. So we're gonna go ahead and get our second set. And after we finish this 5 on our right and this 5 on our left, we're gonna get some water. It'll be time for a water break. So we're gonna go ahead and get that weight loaded in over that leg. Balance. And 1. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Oh, nice. Last 5 that we're gonna do for these workouts today. Leg over here, switching from right to left, getting ourselves ready and balanced. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. All right, you guys, go. Catch your breath, take a seat, drink your water. I'm doing the same. So, I hope everyone's well hydrated. I know I am. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the last of our real leg focused workouts today. Again, all these workouts, or workouts that are designed to increase our capability with a set few skills. Specifically, our crane, our balance on one leg, our 5-second balance and hold, as we need for white rank to rank up to orange, and also our balance walk, what we would need if we were on a rail. So this next workout, the last one that we're going to do for this, is actually a heel to toe squat. So we're going to put our feet rather, into a heel to toe position like we would for balance walking. If this line were a rail and I was to balance walk, one of the most effective ways for me to do so is by walking heel to toe, by bringing my heel towards my toe, stepping down, and then rinsing and repeating that process. For our heel to toe squat, we're just going to assume that heel to toe position. We're going to squat down as low as we can, and what you guys can see is that my back heel comes up off the ground, and that's okay. But we're going to do 10 squats just like that, and then we're going to switch to our opposite and do 10 more squats. So our last workout, big workout for the legs. I think you guys are going to be just fine though. So we're going to squat all the way down. First one doesn't count. We got 10 on the counter, so we're going to go down. 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, 10. Awesome. So that was 10 right leg and lead. Switching over now, so I'm left leg and lead. Gonna get started on that last 10. We're gonna jump right on in there. So heel to toe position. Doesn't have to actually be touching. Keep them within a couple inches of each other. And get down. 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, and 10. All right, so we're going to take a seat, stretch our legs out a little bit before we transition from a fairly intense leg workout to a very focused upper body and core workout. So take our take a seat for just a moment, and we're going to shake our knees out, pushing one up while locking the other down, and then alternating that pattern to shake our knees out. Our previous skills, you guys are going to want to watch the tutorial number 10. Justin does a great job covering the crane jump in, again, tutorial number 10. And then our 1 foot balance is actually covered as a part of our balance walk on a rail tutorial. So you're going to want to go on ahead and check out number 54 for balance walk on a rail. And that's going to cover the first part of class today. So if you guys have not yet checked out those tutorials, that's tutorial 10 and tutorial 54 for the first half of class. Second half of class, we'll then assume a butterfly stretch for just a moment. Pull those legs in, flap those wings out just a little bit. I know your quads are needing it. I know your hips are needing it. I know your glutes need it. So stretch them out just a little bit before we get started with our next series of skills. That's going to be our front support and front support walk. And many of you are gonna be like, how? Those are bar skills. And just like we did earlier today, we're not practicing the skill, we are practicing the workouts that you will need to develop that skill, to have that skill, or to already have that muscle develop before you get the chance to try that skill. Some of you are newcomers that have never actually taken class before. So some of these are really challenging workouts, and those tutorials are super helpful. Again, we're gonna be doing front support and front support walk. If you wanna see that tutorial, it's going to be tutorial number 15. The workouts that we're doing are specifically for those. We're gonna go ahead and start with our push-up position on our mat. Now, earlier today, I suggested that you stagger mats. If you have siblings, you're sharing the space at home. So you guys have them staggered. The other thing I'm going to suggest is that as we start this next workout, everyone start on one side. I'm going to start it on my left side, and then making my way over to my right side of my mat, and then coming back to my left side. We're going to be doing this movement like a typewriter, going down and back. And if there are siblings, and you guys are going down towards each other and then back away from each other, they can cause problems. So if we all type right in the same direction, then we will be able to share that space efficiently. So we're going to go ahead and keep our feet on our mat, hands off our mat for a push-up. Now what I'm going to do here is move my leg and my hand out to the side, so I'm nice and wide, and then I'm going to bring them back together. And I'm going to go across and back in, just like that. And you guys can see, I'm trying to move my hand and foot equidistant. That means about the same length. So if I move my hand this much, I move my foot this much. We're gonna go on ahead and move them at the same time as well. So I'll be in my push-up with my feet nearly together and my hands nearly together, like a diamond push-up. This is a challenging position to hold. Then we're going to reach out, close the gap, reach out, close the gap, reach out, close that gap, reach out, and close that gap. Now, we are making some pretty big movements here. When you guys are actually doing the front support or the front support walk, if you do a big movement, it makes it very challenging. And that is the same here. The further that you move, the more challenging this is going to be. So if you need to, start small and do several movements across your mat, making yourself balanced at every point in between, making sure that you're not accidentally walking yourself in a circle, because we're moving equidistant with our hand and foot. So keeping ourselves up, nearly in that diamond, over, back, over, back, over, back, over, back. All the way down and across your mat, and pick up the pace a little. Don't forget to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. Take a second, sit back on your heels, rest for a moment. It's not an easy workout. I mean, it's not super crushing, but it's as hard as you make it for yourself. If I'm here like this, moving like this, it will be easier for me. If I'm here, moving like this, that will be significantly more challenging. I'm sure you've all already experienced that. We're gonna go on ahead, take a stop on that movement, and we're gonna go get that thing I talked about at the start of class. Some of you may have carpet floors. Wear socks. This is what I was talking about. You might need socks for class today. Some of you have carpet floors. Some of you have hardwood or tile floors. Socks will work on all of that. Coach, I don't want to damage or destroy my socks. That's okay. There are a few things that you can use at home that will help you. Like an old container usually has a smooth, rounded plastic lid. And you could use that plastic lid as a place where you can put your feet. Or if you don't have that, there's probably some cardboard waste or paper waste in your house, and usually cardboard will slide really well across carpet. So I'm gonna go grab my preferred tool. That's a carpet slider. I'll be right back. I'm right back. I have my carpet slider. As you guys can see, it is very scraped up. It is essentially just clear, smooth plastic so it can slide very easily across the carpet. Less friction. The less friction, the better for this workout. Now this will not slide on your mat. So if you've been using the mat, we're going to step away from the mat for this workout today. What we are going to do is go back into our push-up with our feet now on our slider. Whatever your slider is made out of, you're going to keep your toes on your slider. I'm going to go in to my push-up with my feet, flex the ball of my toe and the pad of my toe on my slider. I'm going to hold myself up nice and strong, and then I'm going to slide my feet in and push myself up into a pike position. Then I'm going to push myself back out, stopping the slider, not letting it go so far out that I fall flat. We're using a lot of our abdominals, our obliques, and our erector. Our erector is that big muscle group that sits up the spine, helps to do a lot of the lifting and stabilizing. So do your obliques, sitting out on the sides of your rib cage, and you guys all already know your abs are on the front side of your belly. So we're using all those major core groups to hold ourselves up and to cause this slide and fold into a pike. We're going to try and do this 10 times, as long as it may take us. So that's 1, 2, 3. Take a second, catch your breath and rest as you need to, and get yourself started again. 4, 5, 6. When you guys drop, don't drop to here though. Don't let those hips drop and fall out. Right? I just finished my 6. I'm holding my push-up position nice and strong here. And 7, dropping out into that hole. 8, 9, and 10. Woo! So, was that tough? Let me know. You guys feel free to comment, leave a message saying this workout was really tough, that workout was really, really easy. I really want to hear you guys' feedback. It's helpful for me to create a good lesson plan for my viewers. So, if you communicate, we can make a change. Now, we're going to be done with that for just the rest of today, because those are super tough. And the more that you practice those, the better and stronger you'll be. But now we're going to move into our last workout for today, and it's just a shrug. That's it. Just a shrug, but we're going to do it while holding a push-up position. So we're going to go into our push-up. We can use our mat if we need to. And holding my push-up, I'm not doing a full push-up. That's not my goal. My goal is to really drop my chest through my arms and to push my spine back up and out of it. Like my shoulder blades are pinching here, and now I'm pushing my shoulder blades open and apart and round. And you guys can even practice this while on your hands and your knees. We've done it similarly with a stretch where we curl our torso down and our hips down, but we're not going to curl in our belly this time. What we're going to do is just keep that push in the shoulders and the spine, and then that shrug in the chest, and then push through the shoulders and spine and shrug the chest in. So holding your push-up position, doing this workout will look like this. Right? Just a little bit of movement. Coach, I'm really tired. My body is spent. This is hard for me to do. Okay, here's your change, your adjustment. Hands go elevated, feet stay down low. Now I can lean in and I can practice my shrug a little bit more effectively, right? So a little bit more of an easier opportunity to do the movement, and vice versa. Coach, I'm ready for the next step. I want to continue my workout. I want to keep challenging myself. We're going to go ahead and put our feet elevated and then do our shrugs. The higher that your feet are elevated, the higher your elevation of your feet, the better off that you're going to be. You can even do it like a handstand where I'm gonna go feet up and over my couch right now. And I don't advise that you do this, don't do this at home. But we're gonna go up, and so now you can see I'm much more like in a handstand. Now I can do my shrugs. But our goal, no matter what, is to keep going with our push-up shrugs. Good. You're gonna go ahead and give it a stop there. Stand on up. Shake your arms out. Shake your head and neck up. Circle it out a little bit. Catch your breath. In your nose and out your mouth. And lastly, one of the most important things for you, go hydrate. Go get a good drink of water before you come back for our stretches. We're about to get started with our stretching in just a moment. Please take your time, hydrate, guys. All right, guys, we're all done with our water break. We just finished all of today's workouts, and we're gonna get started with our stretches. So I'm gonna set my water down, and I'm gonna set myself down, starting with a seated series of wrist stretches, because I'm sure your wrists are feeling that stress after our last workout. So we're gonna take that seat, and now you guys can see I'm in the center of my mat, but my feet aren't even on my mat anymore, and that's okay for now. We're gonna be using our hands on our mat on the sides of our body, starting with fingers going down towards the floor, pointing them back behind us and pressing the back of our hand into the ground. While we're here, we're gonna lean back just a little bit, bringing our elbows and our shoulders back over the side of our body where our fingertips are. So I'm leaning back. This way I can elongate the muscle across the front and the top of the forearm. Elongating that muscle means that I'm effectively stretching it out more. Good, and we're gonna go ahead and lean forwards, turn the hands. So I'm going from here to here. I'm taking my fingers, pointing them down, putting my heel of my hand flat on the ground. And again, like we did before, leaning back to stretch out now and to elongate the underside of the forearm. Similar to how we did the top of the forearm, but again, that hand turned in an opposite direction, pressed into the floor in the reverse, literally reverse of what it was before. We can now feel the stretch on the exact opposite side of our arm. Good, and we're gonna go ahead and come on out of that. Interlock your fingers, very tightly squeeze, and we're gonna roll our wrists out in one direction. And going the opposite direction. Now, at this point in class is an awesome time to ask questions. If you guys have any questions, now go ahead and let them fly. If not, we're gonna come ahead and continue with our stretch as well. Washing machine method I've been using, right? Back and forth, a few circles this way, a few circles that way. Go ahead and shake out those wrists. We're going to start by stretching our shoulders out now, putting our hands behind us like we did in our wrist stretch. But instead of leaning back, we're actually gonna lean forward, pull our hips forward, lean forward and pull our hips forward. Leave your hands in place. So pull and adjust, reach, pull and adjust. Do this to the point where your hands are back behind you and can still stay flat. 1, 2, they're not sliding out towards the walls on either side of you. So they're staying fairly close to or directly in the place that you put them. And 3, last thing, you guys should be able to hold this stretch for about as long as I have. If you pulled yourself so deep that it is so painful that you cannot continue, then you are stretching wrong. Stretches only should be maybe a 6 out of 10 on your pain threshold. For those of you that don't know, if you've felt the worst pain in your life, slide out. Go ahead and push yourself back onto your mat. The worst pain you felt in your life would probably be a 10 on your pain threshold. And the softest, saddest little tiniest thing like, oh no, I got bumped by a butterfly, is like in number 1 on your pain threshold. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're stretching. 6, you're stretching. 7 and 8, you're overstretching. Don't hurt yourselves when you guys are stretching. Make yourselves uncomfortable, yes. Hurt yourselves? No, not really. All right, we're gonna go on ahead and roll our shoulders out just a little bit. A few shoulder shrugs backwards, and then a few shoulder shrugs forward. And again, just reminding you guys, during this last part of class, during these stretches, always an awesome time to ask questions. If you need to ask questions, now is your real best chance. We're gonna go ahead and put that arm across our chest, grab a hold of that elbow, and pull inside of that elbow towards our elbow here, just like that. I'm reaching my right arm across to my left side. Now from this point, with this pull, I'm not pulling my arm up into my chin and chest. I'm sort of keeping my shoulders actually down and in place and pulling across my chest, not over my chest. All right, good. And now we're gonna go ahead and release that. Switch to our opposite arm. As you guys can see, I'm keeping it low, pulling it in, pulling across towards my chest and my shoulder. There. Making sure that I'm not choking myself out. Doing this actually pulls your shoulder into a really compromising position. So keeping your shoulder in socket and then pulling across is more comfortable, is better for you. Good, go on ahead and come on out of that. We're gonna take one hand up behind our head, reach down like we're grabbing onto our shirt, like grabbing and pulling onto your own shirt. Reach down, grab your elbow and pull on your elbow. Make sure that you keep your posture strong, that you're not slouching and falling forward. You actually can even try and lift and point your chin and your chest up to increase the stretch. Don't forget, breathe in your nose and out your mouth. And with every breath, try and pull your chin in and up to the sky while pushing the back of your head into your elbow and your forearm. Good, coming out of that. We're gonna go ahead and release, pull the arms all the way out, and then go in on our opposite side. Big reach across the spine. Again, and I'm gonna turn slightly so you guys can see how I'm doing this with my head. I've got my arm back behind me. I'm grabbing my elbow and pulling this way. I'm pulling towards you guys. And then, now my chin is touching my chest. I'm lifting my chin away from my chest and pushing my head into my forearm, which pushes my whole movement back that way. Almost like someone grabbing the movement and pulling it back behind me. And now it's me manually doing it for myself. Creates a nice addition or more of a stretch. That is one of the best ways to do so. Go ahead and release that. All right, we're gonna sit on one hand. I know that sounds weird. We're gonna go ahead and sit on the one hand. We're going to take our head over to our shoulder. And we're gonna pull on it slightly to stretch out our neck and our trap in our shoulder. Keep yourself sitting in a nice strong posture. Don't let your spine slouch. Oh. Keep your spine strong. Sit up straight. Pull in. Release the head. Switch hands. Boop. Boop. Pull. Now, does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Oh, what's up?
All right, so you have a couple messages. One is from Catalina. It was a hard workout, so thank you.
Good.
And then we have 3 from the same person. One is, can we do something about audio?
Okay. We unfortunately don't have a mic currently that supports audio, but what we can do is either move the shots in a little closer, or I can try and scream at you guys the whole time. That's 2 things that we can definitely do. We'll try and do what we can for the audio for you guys.
Beautiful. And same person is FreeLove, please distinguish side rolls from forward rolls. And then her next one was, or his, is you completely ignored the side rolls in the previous rolls and handstands episodes. Care to explain some more about side rolls in today's episode?
Unfortunately, I can't do so. I am planning on doing a more advanced roll episode in the future. So I did talk about our normal shoulder roll and our forward roll in our previous rolls episode. Let's all go ahead and assume a butterfly stretch while we talk about that. So pull in nice and tight, keep yourself up nice and strong. So I did talk about specifically forward roll and shoulder roll and handstand. And what I wanted to cover in that is really the rolls you could use to save yourself while you're working on your handstand. So that episode is for you guys' rolls. However, I will be doing in the future a more advanced roll episode that's going to express the side-to-side roll a little bit more, as well as, again, this is workouts for that practice. So I'm going to be giving you workouts like side crunches that are going to help to develop the muscle you need for the skill. If you guys want more of an opportunity to check out those skills, you can very, very clearly search it in our parkour tutorials, where we have a 20-minute long breakdown on our sideways shoulder roll. So that would probably be a great way for you to get that help that you're asking for.
Same person said, please make it in next parkour number 7 episode.
Ooh, unfortunately, I do already have a plan, and I'm going to be continuing to follow my plan. So what you guys are going to be looking for is something closer to episode 10 or 11. Don't remember off the top of my head, 3 or 4 episodes out in the future. But what I can tell you is that our upcoming episode is going to talk about some of the bar skills that we got absolutely no chance to do. And we just don't often have bars at home. So we're gonna go over a few of those skills and a few of the workouts that you can do for bar skills. So you guys should be looking at an arm workout or an upper body workout that's gonna be coming at you guys on Friday. Any other questions, guys? We're gonna go on ahead and get started with our ankle rolls, putting one leg out, figure 4 over the side, over the top, and really tightly grab the ball of the toe, roll that out. So this AMA, this is exactly what it's for. You guys asking those questions. I honestly very much appreciate those questions. I appreciate being able to give you guys those answers. To share that information is literally what I'm here for. We're gonna roll that in the opposite direction now.
Catalina says yay in all caps.
Sick.
But same person who had asked the previous questions, that's just tutorial. His ninja outfit and angle makes it hard to understand.
I see. So what I will do for you when we have our episode on rolls, I want you to go on ahead and click the subscribe button on our channel. You can also click the bell notification button so that you can make sure that you get full alerts when we are producing all of our future content. And then you will be able to see when we do our advanced shoulder roll, I'll break it down just for you, just a little bit more of the mechanics behind it, more of how the sideways is effective, more about how its application is, because you don't just use sideways shoulder rolls, you have to use them when it is time to. If I've over-rotated a side flip, or I've stumbled out of a takeoff, and I've landed with a slight twist or a slight turn or a slight tilt, the sideways shoulder roll becomes a critically necessary move. And so because you guys have those questions, I will go into a bit more depth about that. All right, do we have any more questions? We are running close on time. Just got a few more minutes left if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, we're gonna sign on off.
The only thing is that they've already been subscribed for a couple months, so they're already subscribers. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys for your subscription. We are, like I said, talking about that bell button, then that way you can get, boom, notification the moment that we put new content out. We are streaming parkour classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So the next time that we get together for parkour will be from 3 to 4 on Friday. We are also streaming our Acro Flex series that is designed specifically to take care of your body in the stretching sense. And it's going to be from Tuesday and Thursday at 3 to 4, that time slot, as well as Saturdays from 9 to 10. The last thing that we have that is confirmed is a tricking on Friday nights, a tricking lesson from 6 to 7 on Friday nights. We are looking at possibly expanding all of our upcoming streams. What we need from you guys as our students, as our viewers, as our support group right now during this time, what we need from you is what you want. Literally. If you guys have little heroes that are at home, you have 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, that don't have a class to go to because we're all locked down in quarantine, I will literally come in, I will put on a class for you guys digitally, and we will plan and schedule out a time for that. If you guys are interested in doing more tricking, we can even expand our tricking. If you guys wanted to do more stuff, whatever it is that you're looking for, specifically a strength and conditioning one. That's not all skills, but is all workouts, because we do offer strength and conditioning classes as a part of our class packages at some of our locations. So it's one of the things that we want to help you guys get. We don't have Firestorm open and accessible for everyone. Currently, I get to use this place. It's just me and Summer, really. And so we're gonna use it to give you the best experience that we can while you guys are in the current position, while we're in our current position. So reach out to us. Let us know what you guys have got that you guys want, and we're gonna try and do what we can to support that and provide that for you. Is there any other questions, Sam?
Catalina wants to learn both ways of the splits.
Okay, so one straight in the middle, and before that was actually a lot of front to back split. So I would suggest checking out episodes 5 and 6 for acro flex, but we will be able to do more of those stretches, and I plan on doing more of those in future acro flex episodes. So don't just follow parkour, but follow acro flex as well. All right, guys, we appreciate your viewership. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. Thank you for all the wonderful questions. This was, hands down, my best AMA so far. So thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Have a wonderful day.